and we're just going to hit record and...
Wow, why? Okay.
Because, what better way than spontaneity and having fun. And then we'll do the music thing later.
I get, yeah, we could music.
Yeah. So we could just do that.
You can music. You know how to music.
I know how to music. I don't know how to record music properly.
We'll figure it out.
It'll be super lo-fi, not in the good way. Not in like the way that music purists like their lo-fi sounds.
Right.
But anyway, here we are. Episode 1.
Yay!
Nerd Jersey.
Welcome to Nerd Jersey. This is Nicole Herview, and...
I am Alex Bond.
Yay, and we're in my parents' basement.
And we're going to talk about some things and some stuff for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Something like that.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll keep it contained-ish.
Something like that. Yeah. I have notes. I'm organized, I guess.
I know. I don't even know how long these things... well... Whatever comes naturally, right?
That's right. I mean, I don't think anyone really gives a shit how long we go as long as we're interesting, right?
Well, that's a minute right there.
Yay!
So
cool.
It's like writing an essay without having like the stress of like, well, shit, I gotta do like another page and a half.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna talk until we don't give a shit.
And then there's the moment where I'm like, I'm just gonna put and them's the facts and cut it a page short and get an 85 on it.
There you go. You're listening to two assholes who just graduated college and don't know what to do with themselves at all.
But we want to do this and talk things.
Talk things. What we do anyway. So the two of us have known each other since first grade? Kindergarten, maybe?
I don't know. I would say second or third
grade?
is when I was first aware
of my existence?
Of person. Of person A.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So we're chilling now in New Jersey, hence the Nerd Jersey pun.
Oh, there's just so much I want to cover.
I know, me too.
I don't even know necessarily on the first one, but there's just so much to talk about.
I know, but as a little intro to us, I think we can talk about our first nerdy experience.
I'm cool with that.
What brought us into nerddom?
Let's gain their respect.
Maybe, kind of. So, when I want to say 2 or 3. I think 3
who can
because
remember that far back?
I know that's my first memories when I was 3. So I'm gonna go with that because this is one of my first.
Fair.
My mom would put on, I don't even know what kind of TV. I don't know what was on, but TV was on. She'd be, working, like cooking. I don't know what the hell she was doing. I was 3. I don't care. But anyway.
She was using that as a babysitter.
No.
She was like, you're going to be distracted over here and I'm going to be getting stuff done in the kitchen or
for 2 seconds,
or the office or wherever.
So whatever, it was like Barney or whatever. I don't freaking know. Whatever was on TV ended, and after that was the original Adam West Batman.
Actually, Bernie or Barney?
Barney.
Oh, Barney.
Am I...
Who's Bernie?
I don't know who Bernie is. But okay. So yeah, after whatever was on TV, the Adam West Batman would come on.
Oh my god.
And I loved it. Like, my mom would go to change the channel, and I'd be like, don't. Don't. This is so good. And, you got, like, my original Joker was the Cesar Romero with the damn mustache. So
he refused to shave the mustache.
He didn't want to shave the mustache.
I love it.
And Catwoman, and, the Penguin was a weirdo, and all that. So once my mom realized I was, like, super into this Batman, she let me watch Batman the Animated Series.
Nice.
And that was it, man.
Kevin Conroy as Batman, right?
The only real good voice of Batman. I love Christian Bale. He's my favorite live-action Batman. He always will be. Well, I shouldn't say that. But I think he always will be.
What about Michael Keaton?
No. But
Michael Keaton was better than Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Yeah, I will let you have that one, but the voices all sucked.
And I think I want to, in a similar way that I have strong opinions about the Spider-Men, I have opinions about, Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne versus Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, I think
the same way I have feelings on Christian Bale as both.
Right, yeah, I think everyone has to,
Everyone gives the voice shit with Christian Bale, but I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it.
I believed him as an intimidating factor, as a force, as a vigilante. Vigilante figure in this total mess of a city.
Yeah,
which makes sense considering that in most consideration, I would say Gotham is based. Looking at that map,
Mm-hmm.
Gotham's in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of it. It's Newark.
I think
Newark.
it's a stand-in. Yeah, it's just a more industrialized Newark.
Yeah, and I think Metropolis is Chicago.
I believe it's. I don't know if it's a stand-in for, but it's kind of center of the country,
It's like
considering
Chicago.
that he's a short, maybe flight,
Yeah.
in Superman terms, away from a farm in the middle of nowhere, which you don't find out here.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard a lot of things about where Gotham is and everything. But
I think New Jersey.
I would always say it's Newark. That's why I always. I mean, political crap aside, I always say Cory Booker is Batman because he was the mayor of Newark, and I just look at that man and I'm like, that's Batman. I'm like, no, that's him. Like, no.
But yeah, so as an intimidating figure in the suit, I love Christian Bale.
Yeah.
As like the I guess Playboy millionaire, I just love Michael Keaton's
that's fair.
performance of just kind of suave, but still, you believed him as wearing the 3-piece suit, not the bat suit.
The three-piece suit.
There's a difference between the 3-piece suit and the bat suit.
And the bat suit. Very different.
Yes.
One can withstand knives and crap,
right.
and the other one's like, no.
And Christian Bale, when he was just Bruce Wayne, it seemed kind of... I don't know. He was just kind of out of the costume, but it was still Batman.
Still Batman, which I kind of liked. I think that added to the complexity of the character of Bruce Wayne. That he's gone and it's just Batman parading around as Bruce Wayne
when he comes back. Because I liked him a lot. I liked the Bruce Wayne character in Batman Begins, and I loved the Bruce Wayne character in Dark Knight Rises. But Dark Knight's
a little weird.
It's kind of Bruce Wayne light.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Batman and a lot of the Joker, obviously, and just like the kind of, the duality there of the juxtaposing one versus the other. But in the first and the third, there's a lot of Bruce Wayne going on, not a whole lot of Batman.
Right. There isn't a lot. Like, I can't pinpoint a really great Bruce Wayne scene in The Dark Knight.
No.
And I've watched that movie more than I've watched any other movie in my entire life, besides maybe The Lion King, but that's a whole other story. But,
and I haven't seen them like one after the other. When I first I saw Dark Knight opening day.
Right.
And before I went, it was with the girls dating in high school at the time, and we watched Batman Begins, and we went right from there to the movie theater to watch Dark Knight. So I
did that.
I had that.
Yeah.
But when I saw Dark Knight Rises, I was in Australia, and I didn't have, the stuff on hand to watch the first two. So I just kind of went off memory, and I was just watching that, and it's still... held up as a sequence of events, and obviously I did my research beforehand of what's going to be relevant and all that.
Totally, but and I did that. I watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I was such an ass. I watched just the scenes in The Dark Knight with the Joker in them. I skipped everything.
You are an ass.
because I had seen The Dark Knight so many times, I really didn't need a refresher, at all. So I was like, this is just for, and I remember I was short on time. I had to go to the theater. I hadn't allotted enough time because I was silly. And I just I didn't leave myself enough time to watch the two movies before I left. So, but it was an experience for sure. But yeah, that stems from watching Batman the Animated Series when I was a little kid.
I just love that sequence of events.
Yeah, and I watched that every single day. I watched that. I watched whatever Superman cartoon was on at that time. I'm not sure what it was called.
Superman, not Unlimited. That was Justice League Unlimited.
I didn't watch Justice League. I watched Super Friends. Oh my god, I watched Super Friends. I was such a little. Oh my god, whatever. And I watched the Spider-Man series. You know, the one with the meme that's like, and then there's this guy.
60 Spider-Man.
Yeah,
where that came from.
And I watched
not like
that.
the super stylized 3D-esque Ultimate Spider-Man.
No,
that's more recent, I think.
No, I watched the old school one. Whatever was on WB, kids. Mm-hmm. Which I missed.
Static Shock.
Oh my god! I watched the X-Men. I want to say once, and my mom decided it was too scary for me or something. I don't know. I could be making that up.
Maybe
because I was 3, but she was. I don't think she liked Wolverine, which is hysterical because now my mom loves Hugh Jackman, and we'll sit there and
That's
watch.
Kind of different Wolverine too.
I know, and we'll watch any X-Men movie with me now because she gets to see Hugh Jackman, and I'm like, cool. I get to go to the movies now.
That's more of a Hugh Jackman thing than a Wolverine thing, I think.
Yeah, it is. For her, for me, it's Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
And I'm like, yes!
I didn't watch too many like the superhero shows.
Really?
My first like big superhero like defining moment was seeing Sam Raimi Spider-Man in theaters 2002.
Oh wow.
Like that was I don't know what it was. What I was for what kicked it off for me and like this whole pop culture binge that I've been on
forever
for 22 years was kind of the first thing was Star Wars, like really young.
Nice.
Like we had the VHS tapes. Actually, I think it was the release, like the re-release in like 96, 97 of the original trilogy in theaters. Mm-hmm. So I would have been what, like 4 or 5.
Yeah, we were little.
Yeah, and I remember like being at Sony Theater in Eatontown.
Oh my god, the infamous
when it was Sony
Theater in Eatontown.
Right.
Any Kevin Smith fan knows what that's about.
And just like being there and seeing, I mean, the one that I actually remember seeing was Return of the Jedi. I mean, I know I saw all of them there. Like I've been told as much. But you know, there used to be when you'd walk down that hallway, there'd be all like those classic movie posters you had, like E.T. For some reason, Lethal Weapon 4 was on the wall.
Still can't figure that one out.
But they had like the Star Wars, and it said Revenge of the Jedi. Like it was that promotional poster in there for the longest time. And I would always walk past that for years and years until they like recently took it out.
Which I want to know where the hell it went because I'll pay someone for that.
Somewhere
money
in the vaults.
I don't have, but I'll pay someone.
But that was kind of the thing for me. Like Star Wars was so much of until like filling that 5-year void between that. I guess there was the original X-Men in there, but that didn't affect me too much until X2 came out.
Right.
But like for 5 years, it was everything was Star Wars.
I feel you.
Everything was. I watched those, and then I played on the N64. There was a game, Star Wars.
Are you talking about the friggin' pod racers?
I played the hell out of Pod Racer.
That was great.
That was the best.
Let's do that in 2 minutes. Like when we're done with this, let's play that. I still have it.
That was the best thing to come out of the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
I mean, I'm gonna argue that Ewan McGregor as
oh my god, he was great. All right, I did like him as Obi-Wan. All right, so let's say that's the best thing to come out of the first Star Wars
that
prequel.
Duel of the Fates thing. The
music.
The music, yes, and I will argue this, and I will probably argue this several times while we do this whole podcast thing.
We might not have a problem here. If you're going where I think you are, we might be okay. We might stay on good terms.
Yeah.
We might go.
Still be friends.
We might go past episode 1.
Maybe. I will maintain that the best. I'm going to talk about choreography a lot and fight scenes. Because, as an actor,
I don't have much of an eye for it, but
yeah, I do. Because
I know what makes a good fight scene, but go, speak your piece.
Lightsaber battles. As far as lightsaber battles go, duels specifically. The duel between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul, turning into the battle between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, is the best choreography you will see in all 6 of the existing films. I will maintain that choreography-wise, it's perfect.
Yeah, setting-wise, it
could be better.
Stupid.
Obviously,
could not be worse. I don't think what was with the laser doors? What was that? Why was there a big exhaust shaft?
Drama.
I think they were trying to recreate that, like kind of the stakes of that fight between Luke and Darth Vader in Empire.
In Empire, right? And I maintain that that's a better dramatic scene. Absolutely. Well,
that's the whole, like...
That's it. That's the original
If you look
at
the trilogy, not each movie is Act 1, Act 2. Like, Act 1 is New Hope. Act 2 is Empire. Ends on, like, a holy shit, like, such a... like a
series of down endings.
Yes, exactly.
I feel you.
That's, like, where the stakes are like, well, holy shit, now we're going to get to our third act and the climax of this whole relationship.
Right.
Yeah, narratively, that's a beautiful fight.
Yes, dramatically and narratively, there are better fights. Specifically that one, that's the first one that comes to mind. Absolutely better fights in the existing 6 movies of Star Wars.
But it is a good-looking fight.
That
the Darth Maul fight
is beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful to look at. well executed. I swear to God, they hired, I never remember his name, but the guy who plays Darth Maul.
Was that Ray Park?
You could be right. We'll look that up. But
I'll do it right now. I don't care.
Do it right now.
We'll be one of those.
We'll be one of those people.
Google on the fly to fact check ourselves.
It's fine.
The only time I don't do this is when I'm at a bar settling, any bargument that goes on. I call them barguments.
I like that.
So the other night, this was months ago. I don't know why I'm calling it. Why make it seem like I have much of a social life?
This is it.
A few months ago when I was at a bar, we were trying to figure out what the hell the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was where he was pregnant.
Yes, okay, I'm with you.
And
I know what you're talking about.
It was so tempting to Google it, but I thought it'd be more fun to go around the bar to figure it out and to go around and ask random strangers what the hell that movie was. And I don't know why the name Junior escaped me. That was it. It was Junior. And I was like, it wasn't Mr. Mom. I'm pretty sure that was Hulk Hogan or Michael Keaton.
You're right.
Was that Hulk Hogan? You Google that. I'm gonna Google who played Darth Maul.
You're hearing the Google.
But no, because I wanted to figure it out, and so many people didn't know. They were like, "No, wasn't it Mr. Mom?" And I'm like, "No." Mm-mm. And some people thought it was twins, but that was the other one that Danny DeVito was in.
Right.
And it took so long to figure it out.
Mr. Mom is Michael Keaton.
Okay. But it was more fun for me to talk.
Figure it out. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
It was Ray Park. It was Ray Park as Darth Maul.
I would say that they hired that man because of that scene.
Well, it was,
and because he could do those things.
It was originally going to be Benicio del Toro.
Okay.
But when he got the script, this is what I hear, and obviously I have no inside information.
Mm-hmm. We're just chilling.
I made eye contact with Alison Brie on Wednesday, and that's about as close I've been to stardom.
I've been in 2 music videos, but we're not going to go... And real music videos, not like yours.
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm kidding.
Hey, one of ours got 16,000 views, all right?
I know, and I'm like 100 of them. I'm literally like 100 of those 16,000 views. You're welcome.
This is like modest fame. So, yeah, but apparently Benicio del Toro was considered for the part, but since Darth Maul had so few lines, he has that one scene on Coruscant with Darth Sidious, and then I think that's really it. Then a couple fight scenes on Tatooine.
Doesn't talk.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why Benicio del Toro didn't end up with it. And it would have been interesting to see him kind of behind the makeup, but if he had been... He's a very mysterious character. Yeah. He's very... There aren't a lot of words there.
No.
But you're looking at him, and he's just such a badass, and you want to know where the hell the double-bladed lightsaber comes from.
I love it.
Without digging into the extended universe and the comics and the books and
which I haven't. I'll admit that right now.
But apparently, there's the Clone Wars TV show now.
Right.
If it's still, I believe it's still going.
It's on Netflix, and I need to watch it.
And that's all in the canon. Yeah. Apparently, it's really well done too, and he's in it.
Yeah.
Darth Maul is in it.
Is he? Wait,
despite getting chopped, and they've got the technology. There's
that
a video.
Blows my mind.
There's a video you need to watch before we play Pod Racer over there. When we stop this, I'm gonna pull up 2. I think they're 20 minutes each. Videos on YouTube. Someone did it. What if Star Wars Episode 1 and Star Wars Episode 2? What if they were good? And he, I know it's cruel to put it that way, but he kind of revamps the story instead of making Anakin's story with Obi-Wan as kind of a static character. Right. They make an Obi-Wan story.
Ooh.
And how he reacts to Anakin, kind of coming over to turning into Darth Vader.
God.
So Obi-Wan is really your big hero.
Yes.
Which makes more sense because I hated Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I have a huge issue
I had a big problem with how he was portrayed.
Yeah, I mean, I had no problem with how he was written. Well, kind of I do. I don't know.
It's the performance.
Everything just kind of comes together to
But in the writing, it's like, all right, well, guys, we're all okay with him turning into Darth Vader, right? All right, cool. They didn't really make him sympathetic.
No.
And I don't know. I just that's one of my gripes with it.
Yeah, and the love story, I kind of buy it.
Yeah, but it's very cheesy written.
I almost don't buy it at all. I think the Han-Leia love story is 10 times better than
because
that.
There's banter and there's chemistry and there's kind of a a
human
growth.
being.
Right.
I see human beings. I don't really...
Everything...
I see it in Padme. Padme is decent. She's not great. She's not a great character. She wasn't really well written. She's decent. She's not awful.
But for what she's stood as, and she's the vector for Luke and Leia, kind of.
She's a plot device.
Sadly,
she's
yes.
a plot device, and that upsets me.
And that's why everything felt like puppy love between them.
Yes.
For all 3 movies, everything was like, all right, well, now we're gonna have this sappy scene with kind of poorly written dialogue, and just get the point. Like, these 2 people love each other.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing where the script says these people love each other, and you're like smacking me with that knowledge
across the face.
Like, yeah. It's not. There's some where you see the attraction. You saw the attraction in Han and Leia, even though they were bickering.
Oh my God, yes.
But
Sexual
you just
tension.
knew that exactly, and there was none of that.
None.
There was no tension with those 2.
Yeah, and I love Natalie Portman, and I love that that's where she comes from, and like she has this background of Star Wars, and I love that, and I've always loved her. So, but
and in the midst of doing that, she did Garden State, which I saw. I've never seen all the way through, but I saw a scene of it the other day. It was on TV, and that was 2004. And she just and she's terrific in it. Her and Zach Braff have some like great. They've got really good chemistry, but she looks so young compared to like how they portray her in Star Wars as like this big political figure. Like they try and use that.
Yeah,
they try and place her in these big political scenes, but like you kind of believe that she fits in there, and then you see her in Garden State, and she looks like almost like a child.
Baby.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it was cool that they tried to like develop this strong female force where there really isn't a female force in Star Wars. You're going to hear this a lot from me. That's my biggest gripe with Star Wars is like, are there no human women? Once in a while, you'll get a female like alien of some kind that's like, badass.
Ayla Secura.
Yes, and you'll get that, and that's awesome. But I want to see more awesome women in Star Wars. I want to see more women of color in Star Wars. I want to see more people of color in Star Wars.
I think we're getting that with the new one.
Absolutely. It looks like with the new one, your two main characters are a woman and a man of color.
Yes.
And I love that. I'm like, let's go. We just need an LGBT character.
Despite the fact that everything we have seen is one of our heroes constantly sweating and panting.
I'm like, dude, can
but
you talk?
Get the idea that he's going to be running a lot.
Yes, and in a stormtrooper
physically,
uniform,
which has got to be weighing you down a bit.
Quite, and it's confusing to me because let's talk about Attack of the Clones real quick. All the stormtroopers are supposed to be clones.
Well, I think that was how they originally started, but I think then
they expanded.
Yeah, the implication,
that makes
and
sense.
I don't know if they ever explicitly say it, but they need volunteers. They need to.
Makes sense. I'll buy that.
I'm sure in the space between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Kamino stopped spitting out clones or stopped contracting them to the Empire, what became the Empire. So I think they just I think there's maybe a height requirement. Let's remember our new little short stormtrooper.
Yeah, that line.
But
holy crap!
I don't think they're all clones.
That's
anymore,
probably
at least.
accurate. I mean, they all sound the same to me, but I mean, that's probably just
and even if not, even if we are to believe that they are in A New Hope, Empire, and Jedi,
right?
Let's say they are. The Empire's gone. Now we have the First Order is like your shady organization, your Spectre, or your Quantum of James Bond lore. I think your First Order in, oh my God, what's it called? Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's going to be your new figure, with a Sith almost at the head, as your Darth Vader, so to speak. It seems like we've got a supreme leader played by, and I'm blanking again.
Yeah, Bond, do better.
I know. I'm really messing up here. And he's one of my favorites.
Look him up.
I will. I know.
I'll finish my
Circus. Andy Serkis.
Oh God, how do I not figure out it's Gollum? Like, come on, people.
He's your supreme leader. Like he's
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm not
because that's his voice.
I saw that. Yeah.
But they're not all clowns.
Yeah, I could buy that.
I
could buy that.
These are people left in the fallout of the Empire that become the muscle.
Yeah, I don't remember where I saw speculation about that, but I found it very interesting. But anyway, my point is, like, you had a pretty cool character to deal with Padme. Like, she was a queen, then she went into politics and crap, and she's a young woman, you know, and you could show a lot with that. I think it's cool because, you know, Leia was awesome. Leia is everything, not everything, but Leia's a lot. Leia's a lot of what I look for in a character. She's just like spunky as hell, and I just love that. I don't know why. I just really like her.
But she's got emotional weight.
She's a person.
Yeah.
It's very obvious that she's a human being. You see the complexity. You see her not want Han at all, really. Like, in her brain, she's like, screw that. Like, and whether that's because she just genuinely is not looking for that male force or any romantic force in her life or whatever, and she comes to Han naturally and not because she's looking for it.
Right. And not because he's like the machismo
and that's
swoon, you know?
Right, and that's not her whole character.
It's not. It's great.
Great. And I love that.
And she's got tactical purpose, like in both, you know, in the Battle of Hoth and in the battle where they're destroying the second Death Star, she has a role.
Absolutely.
They give her something to do. She's not just like, oh, be safe out there. No, she's doing stuff.
She's doing crap.
Oh, it's great.
Which is great. So to follow that up with Padme, you could have also had a very strong...
mother.
A very strong political force. And I believe it's there. I just didn't see it.
Right.
And I don't.
There's a lot they glide over.
That.
They glide over a lot of things
to
tell this whole story in 3 films,
right?
And to introduce all these different characters every time. And I think another misstep, and there's another in that video of what if Episode 2 was good. He moves most of the action to Alderaan.
Ooh.
So that Alderaan is not the first and last thing you see of Alderaan is not it exploding in A New Hope.
That's it. Yeah.
Is to give it kind of a place in this universe.
Yeah.
And to give the Organa family
I want to know about them.
Because,
man.
So Bail Organa was in Revenge of the Sith. Shortly. Briefly.
To be like, hey, that
like,
child,
there's that guy. Yep.
Yeah, like,
much like you go on Tatooine and there's Owen Lars. You know?
Yeah.
And you kind of got a sense of the connection between the families when they return in Episode 2,
right?
And to see Shmi and she's married.
Yep.
And that's kind of the connection with the family there.
Right.
So that kind of gave it a sense of, all right, well, that's how he ends up there.
Yeah.
I still don't necessarily agree with him keeping the Skywalker last name, but that's just kind of pulling at straws. Let's not grasp so much. The point is, Star Wars was huge.
Yeah.
Star Wars
in
was
your life.
Yes.
Star Wars was yes.
And it was Shadow of the Empire. It was a game that I played.
Okay.
Where you kind of Dash Rendar was the hero, and it took place from the Battle of Hoth up through, I think, probably just before, right before Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So there's kind of interactions with Han and with Luke, and then it's understood that Han goes into carbonite freezing.
I cried like a child.
Then there's parts where you're kind of working with Lando, and Boba Fett shows up, and there's other bounty hunters. But everything about that game, and I played it so much, and it was just incredible. And you kind of immerse yourself in that. The first mission of the game is you taking part in the Battle of Hoth.
That's so cool.
Like, you have to take down 3 AT-ATs.
Yes.
Which is great. And then there's space battles, and you can fly around. It was just so fun to play that. To go from playing that on an N64, think about the visuals of an N64.
None. There are none. What visuals? It was kind of like a random outline of something that looked like...
It looked like there's asteroids coming towards us. Not quite as bad as...
Is that a rock? I don't know.
Over the winter, I was at Barcade in Philly, and they had like it was a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And you were piloting an X-Wing.
Yes,
but everything
please.
everything was like that 80s green screen. computer type thing.
Yeah,
everything
so
was
crap.
an outline of it. Like you were in the what do you the I guess the vents or the little dips in the Death Star. I'm losing words here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're kind of flying in and out. You're blowing up turrets.
Oh yeah, I feel you. Okay, yeah.
But everything's just a green outline with a black background.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It's not quite that bad. But to jump from there to playing Battlefront, playing
Yes.
Battlefront 2, and having space battles
Yeah.
was, again, immersive.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, you could be a Jedi.
Yeah.
You could be a clone trooper. You could, eventually be a Jedi, take part in the battle. You could just do a heroes and villains thing.
Yeah.
And have all the Sith versus all the Jedi, have Han Solo shooting at Boba Fett. It's a lot of fun.
You just reminded me of something. I want to announce this to the world, how much I resent the fact that if you go to Disney World and you want to do the Jedi Training Academy, you have to be like 14 or under. And I was like, dude!
Well, even Anakin was too old at 10 years old.
I know. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. Like, I remember I went for like the first time I went to Disney World and cared about Star Wars, which I'll tell you my Star Wars story. But the first time I went to Disney and cared about Star Wars, I was 18. We had just graduated high school. And I would have given you literally any amount of money that I had. Like, if it was like, give me all your graduation money, I'd be like, cool, here you go. I was going to get a laptop because my parents are great and bought me a laptop for graduation. Well, they paid for half of it, and I had to pay for the other half.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What's a MacBook? Those get expensive.
Yeah. I was like, I would have given you that. I would have given you anything to be like, you can be a Jedi. I would have been like, cool, let's go. But then I saw, like, I think it's 14.
I wanted the damn lightsaber, man,
And I was
for so
just
long.
like, come on, let me have the little robe and be a Jedi. And, like, I'm small enough. Like, for those of you who have no idea, I'm 5 nothing. And I'm a little hobbit, and, like, I can try to be, like, 14 years old.
For everyone that wasn't with us at the mall just now, which is everybody else, you fit into a youth large, extra large hockey jersey.
I do.
A youth large.
Youth large hockey jersey.
Now, the difference between a youth jersey and an adult jersey on NHL.com is about $100.
I win.
So that makes a huge difference between finding, like, a ladies' jersey in a small and just getting the youth XL.
I like the youth. I mean, if I'm going to wear a hockey jersey, I'm going to wear a
Save
hockey
some
jersey.
money. It's the same material.
Like, come on. I mean, I love ladies' fit stuff. I do. It makes me look decent. I'm happy with it. But, I mean, if I could fit into a youth large and look good, hell yeah, I'm gonna.
Fair enough.
But anyway.
It was a good fit.
Thank you. But, yeah. I don't know where I was going. But, yeah, I resent the fact that
you couldn't be a Jedi. You couldn't do the academy.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, all I want is to be a Jedi. And, like, it's funny. My story, I think, what year did Phantom Menace come out?
99.
Okay.
I do know that offhand.
Thank you.
99, 2002, 2005. Those are your 3 years for the prequels.
Thank you, sir. So, 99, I was 7. I was 7. And...
Did you math that right?
Yeah, I was born in 92.
Yeah, I was born a few months after you. I was
so
5
99,
when they came
I
out.
was... You're not mathing right at all.
I'm not mathing. No, 6 and 7. You're right. 6 and 7.
Yeah. What's wrong with
Because
you?
I'm thinking like 99. I was in kindergarten. I was 5. That is wrong. I graduated kindergarten when I was 6.
We graduated kindergarten. How stupid is that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
At least we weren't one of those schools that had like a 5th grade graduation.
Oh my god.
Because
kill
those
me.
exist.
No. But yeah, it might have been 2000 because my best friend's family had bought the DVD of Phantom Menace. Like, they had it. And it was, like, legal and crap. So, like, it might have been 2000, whenever the DVD came out.
Probably 2000.
And my
That was also probably the period of time when there was, like, 9 months between, like, a movie left theaters and a movie came out on DVD.
Yeah.
I remember that wait being so long for so many movies.
Oh, it was so awful. Harry Potter killed me.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Harry Potter killed
That
me.
and Spider-Man. I waited so long for those DVDs to come out.
We'll talk about that. That's a whole nother... We should...
Well, Spider-Man's another reason why I'm so kind of
we'll talk
into the
about
superhero
Spider-Man.
culture.
We'll do that.
If we get to it.
Yeah. Either in this episode or another, we'll have a whole episode dedicated to Spider-Man.
But tell your story. Oh, that's going to be
that's going to be rough.
A huge discussion for me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of opinions.
I have many opinions, several of them. But anyway.
DVD, Phantom Menace.
We were over there, and my mom loves Star Wars. My dad is more of a Trekkie. But even that, he doesn't love it.
¿Por qué no los dos?
See, that's me. I
know.
I love both.
Yep.
So, but I didn't yet. So I'd never seen Star Trek, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was genuinely afraid when my mom was like, oh, can we see Phantom Menace? I didn't see it. Like, she loved Star Wars. So I was like, no, like, we're not putting that on. Like, I was 7, you know? I was like, no. Like, I don't want to see it. It's scary. No. Like, I was, like, crying. They put it in, like,
well,
my
the
best
title's
friend,
terrifying. Like, what is the Phantom Menace? I still don't know what the Phantom Menace was.
We're going to reresearch things.
Yes.
We're going to come back.
I think we got to watch them.
And we're going to...
I do want to watch the prequel trilogy again. Just to... I need to... There's so many times I'm going to say this. Yeah. I need to understand. I
understand, but I understand more every time I watch it.
Exactly. I'm taking half your comic collection home with me today so I can understand.
Yeah.
I'm watching these Batman and Flash cartoons to understand.
Yeah.
There's so much that I'm missing out on because I couldn't be bothered to get these collections of comics, and now I'm like, well, why couldn't I?
Yeah,
what was I doing that was so damn important?
Where's my money?
I was playing guitar and spending too much money on guitar things. That's what I did.
It's okay, man.
I am a East Coast, younger and way less funny Matt Myra, as far as my collection of musical things goes.
Okay, I'm going to tell my story now.
Yes, sorry.
It's okay. So I was crying as they put in the Phantom Menace, and my friend and her sister, who's 3 years younger than us, they were like pumped. They were like, "Yeah, Star Wars," and but they also didn't really care at all. But they were like, "Cool, like Star Wars, like whatever." And I was crying. I was like, "I don't want to see this." And my mom was like, "Sit your ass down and learn something." And I was like, "Okay." So sat my ass down, and we didn't finish the movie. I remember that because one of the kids fell asleep. I don't know. But we didn't finish the movie, and I was, like, devastated because I fell in love. This is why I still enjoy Phantom Menace. Because this was my first Star Wars experience.
Fair enough.
And I loved it.
For nostalgia's sake, I will give you a pass.
I was 7, too. Like,
yeah.
Really, come on.
Kids get away with liking a lot of
I still hated Jar Jar Binks. Like, I'm not stupid. But anyway, so the next day... He was there to sell merchandise. Yes. The next day I was like, Mom, can we watch, like, Star Wars? Like, the real, like, Star Wars? She was like, hell yeah. She brought up, I still have it, so I can literally show you this. I'll go grab it right now. Like, I'll do it. I think it's right over there. The VHS trilogy set. Like, old school, like, crappy VHS. At that time, that's what we had.
That's another casualty of that garage sale my mom hosted when I was at college. Yep. We lost the Star Wars DVDs, and we lost my PS2 with Kingdom Hearts and with Battlefront and Battlefront 2.
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
Kingdom Hearts, that's a blow.
I know.
Oh my
I never even
God.
got to play the second one. It was gone. It was gone.
That's so sad. But yeah, I was like, Mom, watch it with me. So we watched A New Hope. And then that was it. I was friggin' hooked. And she was like, isn't Han Solo cute? And I was like, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But she was a Luke Skywalker girl. So, like, but she knew I was going to love Han. At 7 years old. Whatever. So I was like, yes, Han Solo. So then the next day, she was like, we'll watch it tomorrow. Because I was like, let's watch it right now. We watched Empire. And when he went into the, help.
The carbonite.
Carbonite. Wow, that was stupid. I went to the carbonite.
Sorry, we're helping each other through these things.
I cried. I lost my mind. I was like, Mom, no, like, Han's gonna die. And she was like, chill.
In the multiverse, there's a world where Harrison Ford elected not to come back for Return of the Jedi. I know.
I'm gonna cry.
I know.
But anyway, she was like, he doesn't die, relax. And then she gave me the whole...
Why would she spoil that for you?
Because I was crying and I was 8.
I guess it needed
and
you.
so she showed me the back of the VHS of, like, Jedi. She was like, look, he's right there. And I was like, okay. But then she was like, relax. Like, I couldn't know that. And I had to wait like 3 years or however long it was to see what happened because, you know, she was alive when they were coming out, you know?
I just want to remember what it was like to not know until he said it that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
I know. I grew up knowing that.
As far as I know, that has just been common knowledge. So to think back and think, oh, the first time I remember watching Star Wars was watching Return of the Jedi and the land speeders on Endor.
Right.
Is like a vivid memory of mine of seeing that on a big screen. I just want to go back to when I may or may not have been in the theater for Empire for him to say, no, I'm your father.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have hit, like, the dramatic weight of that moment would have hit me, but at
Probably
least
not.
I could pinpoint and be like, holy shit, like, that did happen. Like, I do remember that being, exposed to me. Instead of just being common knowledge.
Yeah.
This is the exact...
That's the trilogy.
This is the one that I had, and it starts off with, like, an interview with George Lucas every time.
It's like a half-hour interview with George Lucas that I would fast-forward through every single time.
Me too. I did, too.
One day I'll watch them.
I don't know.
But isn't that, like, cool?
Yep.
Like that.
This is what we had, and someone bought that from my friggin' driveway.
Oh, they're lucky.
5 years ago.
I just remember, like, as a really small child, like, I would look at these. Like, that's what I would do, is I would just look at, like, the half faces of
it was
Vader
so cool.
and the Stormtrooper and Yoda, and I was like, what the hell is the green thing? I was, like, so confused. But yeah, look, on the back is Han Solo, so that's how she made me...
That's how she comforted you.
Yeah, that's how I stopped crying, and then I was like, what's the little bear thing? And she was like, we don't talk about the little bear things. I love them,
I'm in the minority of people that doesn't hate the Ewoks.
I don't hate the Ewoks, but I do understand why people do hate the Ewoks. Like,
again,
they're so out of place, but I think that adds to the vastness of this universe. It's like... yeah, we're only seeing this little bit where these things fit in this puzzle piece way or whatever, but there's so much more. And, like, these little Ewok dudes fit. And I can see how they fit kind of with the Wookiees.
See, that's that from a design perspective, which I don't normally have, but just thinking about what creatures you have, I can see where people might think, well, they're just mini Wookiees. Like, they just kind of funneled in, like, oh, there's Ewoks. What do Ewoks look like? Smaller Chewbacca's.
It literally sounds like Pig Latin for Wookiee.
Oh, shit, it is.
It's Ewok. It's close.
Ewok. Oh, my God.
It's like Wookiee back.
I might not like the Ewoks anymore.
Right? It's a little... if you look at it, it's a little weird.
I might...
but if you accept that this whole vast universe is interwoven and you don't really know everything that's out there.
Well,
like,
think about that.
These little mini Wookiees could exist. You know what I mean?
The environment of Endor, of that moon, versus what we see of Kashyyyk through... my first Kashyyyk knowledge comes from the Battlefront games, but it appears in Revenge of the Sith, and it's also kind of this lush, forest, overgrown planet.
Right.
Similar environments. I can see where you're going for a relationship.
Correct.
But now I'm just thinking they're lazy.
Yeah, no, it was
like,
lazy.
Holy shit, Ewok, Wookiee, oh, bastards.
Yeah.
I think the whole third act of Return of the Jedi just, like, regurgitated.
Yeah, I mean, for a while that was my favorite, and now... I agree with Dante. I think it's Empire. I think it'll always be Empire.
Yeah.
You might shout blasphemy, but I would disagree.
No, nobody would shout blasphemy on that.
I know. I still like Jedi.
I love Jedi.
I think
and that final space
perfect.
battle is without context of the rest of the movie, because I've never really just watched like bits and pieces. I've always watched them in one sitting.
Right.
But somebody posted just the space battle.
Yeah.
Without the intercuts of Endor, just Lando Calrissian in the Millennium Falcon, kind of making his way towards the new Death Star under construction, the It's a Trap thing.
It's a trap!
Yes, all of that, just that, and it's like 15 minutes of space fight, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's huge in scope. I think people think Death Star battle, and they think of A New Hope when it's that small band of X-Wing and Y-Wing fighters going down into the trenches.
Which I love. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that was
stakes were high.
else. Yeah.
We miss you, Porkins. But but for the whole, you know, it's a trap. We got to turn. You know, they're kind of swarming us. Yeah, and everything's cutting in and out, and you have the big explosion at the end. But everything feels like it pays off.
Right.
And everything before that is just, it looks beautiful, and everything intercuts so nicely.
Yeah, it really does.
So that kind of makes Jedi for me.
Yeah. I just think Jedi, to me, endings are very, very important. It's why the 7th Harry Potter book will always be my favorite, even though, you know, Azkaban is huge for me. We'll talk about Harry Potter.
We'll get there. We'll talk about our
Potter,
experience watching the last movie at midnight.
Oh, that was my first midnight movie premiere.
That was my first midnight. That's not. Yes, it is. It was. Yeah, that was my first midnight movie.
That was actually at midnight, kids. That wasn't like this 8 o'clock crowd.
Yeah.
Go see it at midnight, but it's like 8 p.m.
On Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Well,
which
actually,
is fine.
okay, I did that with the third Pirates movie. Third Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
That was like a preview thing.
That's all right. I can deal with that.
But I didn't treat that. I was like, oh my god, I'm seeing it at midnight. No, this was an effort.
This was hard.
Every theater was Harry Potter that night. A lot of people in costume, and I had you to my right, crying your eyes out.
Weeping!
And Ryman on my left
laughing at me.
Is she going to be all right? And me saying, very honestly, I don't know.
The answer was no. Even though I had read the book like 3 times before we saw that movie, and I knew what was coming, and I knew I was not going to be okay. But whatever, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But the 7th book will always be huge to me. Return of the King for Lord of the Rings is huge for me. The third
Return of the King, not just with one ending. With 4 different endings.
Yeah, shut up. Whatever.
They drop the ring, and you're like, all right, they're flying home, it's over. And then they're back at the Hobbit Hole, and then they give every character's wrap-up. And
yes, I needed that, okay?
That's like Act 4. Like,
I needed it. I needed it.
It was good. It's a great movie.
It's brilliant. It won Oscars.
I just love using that as my frame of reference for false endings.
Well, yeah, I mean... Yeah, but, you know, life doesn't end when you complete a mission, hopefully. Life goes on, and that was the point of, like, you can do this huge, big thing, and it could, you know, change you as a person, but it changes you as a person. And I think that's whatever. Tolkien is my shit, too. But, yeah, I love that movie. I love the third Hobbit movie. Oh my god.
I didn't even see past the first one.
Oh my god. You might need to leave.
You might replace me.
No, it's okay. We'll keep you.
Episode 2, Val Kilmer sits in my place.
Oh my god. I don't know if I'd be able to function. But anyway, I think that's why I like Jedi. It's just like, I liked the ending, and I don't know. Like, it felt complete to me. It might be like... That might be strange, but
no, it's not. Everything's supposed to wrap up.
How it's all wrapped up very nicely, and that last like freeze frame shot where they're all like happy with the Ewoks and shit. I just like, it's lame as hell, but I love it. You know what I mean? Like, as a kid, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, "Yay! They're all happy. It's over. Great!" And like now, I'm like, "Yay! They're all happy. It's over."
Yeah, you're a little older, a little more bitter, and a little more realistic, but still. It wraps it up. Yeah.
You know, I think that
Darth Vader's dead. The Empire has fallen. You know, Darth Vader had his redemption.
In a way. Yeah.
In a way.
I'll give it.
I mean, he threw the fucking Emperor down a shaft.
Oh yeah.
Again, everything about
shaft.
Yes, this I don't know if that counts as an exhaust port,
shaft?
But without me giggling,
yeah.
I think you reached your maximum. I think the next time I might. But I mean, yeah. So you have him throwing him over a balcony, and you know that's and he, you know, he dies.
Yeah, yeah.
But his last act is saving his son,
which is awesome. Yeah.
Which kind of and it's weird when you look back at A New Hope, and he's actively trying to shoot down his kid, saying, "Oh, the Force is strong with this one," but you know, I think at that point they didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they even knew if there was going to be another one.
Maybe no, I don't think anyone goes in, unless it's based off of a book or something.
Well, because that's before.
I don't think they go in knowing like. Okay,
he had this scheme for like this is part of a saga.
Right.
But to save, and I think he wanted to call it Star Wars: A New Hope, and I think he wanted to put in the Episode 4 title card.
I think so too.
As far as I know, the original release had the episode of Empire had Episode 5.
I think you're correct, because I always thought that A New Hope had Episode 4 tacked to it when it came out.
Well, it does when you watch that VHS,
yes,
because
correct,
that's one
why.
of his remasters.
Yes, and that's why I always thought that, and I was shocked.
But in his
that
mind, there was
true.
a story that came before it as to how everything came to be, and I think they refer to the Clone Wars very briefly in Return of the Jedi.
They do.
There's a
I
conversation
think you're
between Luke and Vader where he says, I know your name was Anakin Skywalker and you fought in the Clone Wars.
Also in A New Hope, Ben says, you fought in the Clone Wars? Like Luke
That's
asked
right.
Ben that.
That's right, yes.
That's a huge... Like, they knew the Clone Wars were going to be a thing. I don't think they mapped out the Clone Wars at all, but they just said that it was a thing.
Right, but that was a thing that came before. And
but
that's
also, how do you come up with that? The Clone
I know,
Wars?
it's a very cool narrative technique.
Not know what that's going to be when you just... How do you just, like,
well,
come
even
up
when you
with
hear
that,
Clone
you know?
Wars, you don't think, oh, clone troopers.
No, you don't. But, like, how...
It's definitely got an
what
ethical weight to it.
Definitely.
Which another thing I wish they'd explored.
Yeah.
In a world that we live in now, where sequels and franchises stand, where they want to explore these deeper themes by redoing these things, and I feel like there was an early draft of a fourth Jurassic Park movie where they talked more about the genetic engineering behind it and how that stands in scientific context.
Interesting.
And the implications of that, which... the weight of Jurassic Park and Jeff Goldblum's, you spent so much time thinking about whether or not you could. You didn't stop to think whether you should.
You should.
And I think that kind of has a weight of like, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
But
hell yeah.
But there was a draft of a fourth Jurassic Park where they'd be like, well, now they've gone insane with cloning, and they're you know, and it probably would not have carried a narrative weight, but it would have been interesting to see that conversation.
That's something.
And in the same realm, you know, we could have had a Star Wars prequel like that. We didn't, and that's fine.
That's fine.
And we'll see where the seventh one takes us on this
optimistic.
journey. Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm optimistic.
For the seventh
one. I always say this.
Cautiously optimistic.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes, that's
because I was so excited for like the second episode, episode 2 and episode 3. I was like so pumped. You know, once I had seen the original trilogy and then, like, rewatched, like, episode 1, and I was like, what? Like, I was so, like, even at that age, at, like, 8 or 9, I was still like, wait a second, episode 1 doesn't fit. Like, I knew that. Like, I knew I liked it, but I knew I didn't like it for the same reasons that I liked the OG trilogy, you know?
I think,
but I'm optimistic.
I really like... this guy on YouTube has thought of like how to improve the prequels if you think of it in this scope. Putting the action
let's find
on.
out who that is and plug it in the next.
Oh yeah, we'll
episode.
definitely put it on.
We'll plug that.
I mean, and he hasn't done one for a third movie yet.
Yeah.
Whether or not he would call it Revenge of the Sith, but
I'm not upset. This is another conversation. I'm not upset about episode 3. I'm not.
Oh no, that one stands fine.
It's okay. It's not.
It
great.
seems like they could have done more of that over the course of the 3.
Right.
Instead
it seems like it was just kind of plugged into 3.
Right.
You know, and it's like I would have liked. I can talk. I would have liked 3 movies like episode 3, and I think people would have been happy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like they just smashed a lot into episode 3, and a lot of character development comes out of nowhere. For Obi-Wan, he develops more and has more emotional weight, I think, in episode 3 than he does in the first 2.
And that's also that first fight scene in episode 3 is the first time that him. I have again strong opinions about Hayden Christensen as Anakin, but his banter with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, I liked it. I kind of like them as a romantic pair more than I like.
I'll tell you what, me and my younger brother were watching episode 3 recently. And by recently I mean like 2 years ago maybe, like not like when it first came out. And it was the first time I'd seen it in a while, and we were watching the beginning, and it's the first scene with Obi-Wan and Anakin. And they're in like their little fighters and crap or whatever. And Obi-Wan just says, "Have you noticed their shields are still up?" Like, his voice hits like a new. I don't know what it was, but I was like, "Ewan McGregor, what was that?"
But
like,
you get a really good sense of like mentor and mentee that Obi-Wan had a lot of thoughts of. Oh, this fucking guy.
Yeah,
lot.
And,
but like you believe it. Like you believe that they have like a master and apprentice relationship.
Yeah,
I did like that.
Yeah, for sure. And
but it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere from the second one. They don't have a lot of time together in the second one until they're all in Geonosis tied up.
Yeah, which is like the only good scene in episode 2.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of the all-out
Coliseum scene.
Yeah, well, that gave you the stakes of like what the Clone Wars are.
Yes, which we don't see in the other films at all.
Right.
So that was cool.
The Clone Wars seems to kind of take place between those two movies, and now I do want to explore those shows, and we can even do that. We can talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of things.
A lot of shit, guys. We have notes. I have notes. No, I don't. Where are my notes?
But we will have notes.
But, what I was going to say was there's a line, right? Like, shortly after the "Have you noticed their shields are still up?" or beforehand. I don't really know. I couldn't give you the dialogue word for word of this movie. But, there's a line, Anakin says, and it's just like the most monotone shit you'll ever hear in your life. It's, "I'm not leaving you, Master." And to this day, me and my brother will just like look at each other. I go, "I'm not leaving you, Master." And it's like, it's that. It's, you got that, like, he probably says that shit 1,000,000 times a day. Like, this is probably like a normal thing that happens between them. And I liked that, you know? And at first I was like, that is the worst acting I've ever seen.
Well, he's still not great in the role.
No, God, no. But then I thought, maybe that's because he's saying that so many. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But, you know,
we'll try and read between the lines as much as possible with the narrative techniques.
Or make excuses for the actors. It's fine.
But I'll give you a pass on that one.
Yeah. But I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So obviously, that was
That's an hour.
That's holy shit. That's an hour.
Wow, we suck.
No, we don't.
No, we're actually awesome.
That's great.
Anyway,
I am totally happy to talk Star Wars like that for an
forever.
hour.
We will. I mean, I'll never forget it. I was out my internship in the city. And you texted me, and you're like, "What are you doing December
18th? I don't know."
And I was like, "I have no... Why?" And he's like, "We're going to see Star Wars." And I was like... Cool.
Because it was when they did the second trailer. The second
trailer came out, yeah.
And it was the Chewie, we're home.
Yeah, and that was it. That's all. Everyone, I remember.
And then that triumphant.
Yeah.
And I got my phone. I was like, "Fucking December 18th's happening."
Yeah, and then I worked. Hopefully, we'll continue to work. But I worked at.
Hopefully, we'll all continue to work so we can fund this damn thing.
Well, in entertainment, I worked in entertainment, and I remember. And I work in mainstream entertainment, like not anything that would care about Star Wars in normal life.
Would you like to plug Viacom while we're
here? No, I'm not supposed to talk about anything that has to do with that, so I won't. I will not say where I worked, thank you. But anyway, I remember the entire building, and it's like a 60-floor building in New York City.
What intersection?
The entire building was losing their mind. Like, everyone was like, "Did you see the Star Wars trailer?" And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell
I'm supposed to be working.
Is going on? But that's the atmosphere. It's like, stop Star Wars.
Everything should stop for Star Wars.
I agree. And it did. And that day it did.
Everything should.
But yeah. So that, I think, should wrap up our lovely first podcast.
We'll do it there.
We're not at a round hour, but we're really close.
Well... if anyone makes it this far, I commend them and hope they will explore the sequel episode where we might talk about Daredevil.
We'll probably talk about Daredevil.
I don't know if we'll get to it because I have notes here about Spider-Man before we get to Daredevil.
Oh God! Well, we'll do Spider-Man. We're gonna do Harry Potter. We're gonna do.
Got a whole. Is this all the stuff we're gonna watch or what? Because I haven't seen
Age of Ultron. We're gonna do. I'm gonna go down my list because some of this we haven't seen, but whatever. This is kind of stuff we're gonna cover.
You've got Stanley Cup playoffs at number 6, and that ends in 2 weeks.
I know, but I'm watching. We can watch the whatever. Okay, we're gonna probably not do that. But anyway, We're going to talk about Age of Ultron, Mad Max, obviously Jurassic World.
God, Mad Max.
We're going to be talking about Star Wars all the way till December and probably after. The Suicide Squad, which is really important to me. I would say we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup after it happens, but whatever.
I could talk hockey forever.
Forever. That's the Jersey part of
Jersey. If
just
this,
so you know.
If this wasn't enough of a test of who's going to stick around, if anybody can listen to me rant about the playoffs for an hour, I will marry you, man or woman.
We just found out that Bond is bi. I didn't know that.
When it comes to certain things, I make exceptions.
Okay.
I might not get into the physical stuff, but I will spend my life with somebody that will listen to me talk hockey for an hour.
Dude, hi. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't have genitals to Bond. Nor does he have any to me, so it's fine. Anyway, we're also going to cover Ant-Man, obviously.
I'm so excited for Ant-Man.
We're going to really we didn't really talk about it too much. We're going to get in depth with the Dark Knight trilogy. We're going to rewatch it, and we're going to talk a lot.
Yes.
Deadpool, everything Deadpool, always Deadpool.
I have to borrow those books from you.
Deadpool.
Understand
Daredevil.
That. I gotta understand that.
Daredevil.
Gotta understand Marvel Knights.
Please, God.
Gotta understand Kevin Smith as a comic writer, which I will start to with Cacophony.
Cacophony's awesome.
I'll
plug that. Screw it. Kevin Smith wrote this awesome 3-part
As
series.
if the man needs plugging.
He doesn't. He doesn't need plugging. He needs to plug us. Hi, Kev.
You know that guy that left New Jersey?
Yeah, that dude who I want to follow across the frigging country so I can live in LA and do awesome things.
I know you do.
Shut up.
He is married.
I know he's married. We can have a completely platonic relationship. Just because I am a woman attracted to men does not mean I am interested in Kevin Smith in any way like that. Anyway.
Well, now he's not going to come on.
What? Anyway, he wrote this awesome 3-part book called Batman Cacophony. And Walter Flanagan drew it. And it's awesome. And it has my favorite Joker line of all time in it. And I will not ruin it for anybody. I won't.
But it's shocking.
It's hysterical, though. It's...
if you're going for shock humor, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
And a pony. But,
And a pony.
And a pony. But, it's abrupt. So definitely check that out. It's freaking awesome. I'm sure you can find it online, for money.
Comixology.
And Comixology.
Someone just...
Definitely check out Comixology. Yeah. It's awesome. I buy a lot of stuff there. But, so we're going to cover all that good stuff. I'll definitely read his Daredevil. I want to read his Daredevil.
I know. I need to do that.
And then we're going to...
Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Yes, absolutely. Frank Miller, anything. I would read Frank Miller's grocery list. I'm not... I would do it.
Things get dark in the jam aisle.
We get into a jam.
Oh,
anyway.
Jesus.
Oh, damn. So then we're also going to talk about Harry Potter and the Clone Wars. Not that those two go together, but...
No, Harry Potter and the Clone Wars. I don't think he...
That's the 8th book.
I don't know who fits in there.
That's the secret 8th book. Harry Potter and the Clone Wars.
There's a reality jump. Somebody explores
something happens.
Something happens.
Something magical.
We can write it. No one will read it. It probably won't even be that good.
I could write it.
I don't know if he...
I was a writing minor. I could probably make it decent.
He's not bulletproof or blaster proof.
No. He'd have some issues, but I'm sure there's some protective defensive spells that we can discover. I have spell books.
We can conveniently...
No, I have spell books. We can look. Anyway.
Oh, man.
So that's what's coming up for Nerd Jersey. I hope someone's listening. That would be nice. If not, maybe this will just be one of those things
Pierre.
Thanks, Pierre! One of those things that people listen to, if they get into us later in life, they're like, oh, this was their first piece of shit.
Yeah.
So whatever. All right.
Before we had equipment. This is the first step of a no-budget podcast.
Yes.
And then it gets to a low-budget podcast, and I'll dress a little bit nicer.
Why? What's the point?
For the esteem of it. I don't know.
We're gonna get to that point. Bond is gonna see me unshowered and with no makeup for the first time.
We'll be living in a bombed-out apartment. We'll just wake up at noon and just be like, "You want to record one?" Yeah, I haven't brushed my teeth. All right,
let's go.
We'll sit on opposite ends of the table.
Give me some water. We'll be fine. All right. So that's what's up for us. This has been Nicole Herview.
And Alex Bond.
Reminding you always to wear your nerd jersey with pride.
And them's the facts.
Thanks, Pierre.